My name is Bitsy Namys, and I've been coming to Eastern Hills since 1979. And Jeff came when we were dating, and then we got married in 81.
Yeah, I grew up in Pittsburgh and moved up here when we got married. And we've been married since 81 for all those years. And we also have 4 children now. So we've had the experience of raising 4 children. About 8 years ago, in June of 06, our son got sick with cancer. He was at West Point at that point in his life. He was a cadet, and he was playing football for the West Point football team. He developed bone cancer at West Point. He was the second oldest of the 4 children that we have. So he was the second oldest, and he made it through his freshman year, made it through playing football his freshman year, and got sick right at the end of the season. Had an operation, and
plebe
year, and he ended up having an operation, and they determined that he had bone cancer in his back. He took 6 months off and came home and had treatment at Upstate Medical Center. And during that period of time, he had gained an immense amount of weight. He went up to about 315 pounds. He was a big guy to begin with. He was 6'5". He played offensive tackle for West Point. And in order to go back to West Point for his sophomore year, because he couldn't play football anymore, he had to lose over 100 pounds. Over that summer, he lost 100 pounds and went back to West Point that fall as a sophomore, and made it right until right around Thanksgiving. Came home and went back again and got sick right after Thanksgiving. And we went down and found that he was very sick, and they had determined that he had leukemia. And the leukemia came about through the bone marrow transplant, or through the bone cancer treatment. Mm-hmm. And we brought him back, and he had to have a bone marrow transplant, and his younger brother was his donor. His younger brother was a perfect match, and he was able to supply the bone marrow to Joel. And Joel lived 82 days after the transplant, and passed away in Buffalo, New York at Roswell Cancer Center. He was a very special kid and a guy as well. His younger brother actually went on to go to West Point and now is a Special Forces captain at Fort Bragg. Joel always wanted to be in the Special Forces and was not able to do that, but his brother Lee is now with the Special Forces group at Bragg. What we would like to do is, in sharing our story, is tell you that there is always hope after a loss like that. Mm-hmm. As difficult of a loss as our son was to us as a family and as a couple, we went through the process now for the past 8 years, really, of trying to figure out, what's the next step. And about 2 years ago, we started getting nudged and pushed to think about, how we could share our story, as well as
just give back.
Give back. So many people helped us along the way and helped us in our journey. Mm-hmm. So we started to volunteer at David's Refuge about 2 years ago, and we were asked just about a month ago about helping with Grief Share. And so we are in the process of learning how to, manage a small group and lead Grief Share with another couple. Our hope is that we, in the past 8 years, we can help other people who have helped us mm-hmm. in the process of grieving, and also giving insight as to some of the things that we learned along the way.
When this all happened for us, we didn't go to a grief share or go to anything like that because we just weren't ready for that sort of thing. And but I think it's just important if somebody to go and talk to other people and seek, God's provisions of help, and there's peace, there's hope. We just felt it was overwhelming. I mean, we were overwhelmed that we just thought it was overwhelming to be in a group like that. But we got help through friends. I mean, just people come alongside of you and love you and care, and you know that, and then you grow in the Lord and through His Word, and then you get to a point where we are where we want to, pay it forward and help others.